G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute. Today I'm joined by Farmer Algared, and I don't know. I was going to call you the Hunt for Red October Osiris, but you changed your lighting on me. Good job.
Switched it up on you at the last
Yeah,
second.
you did. You tricked me.
You
You had red lights everywhere.
It's
It
no
did. It
longer
looked like
burning in hell.
yeah. It looked like very much like it was in a submarine. But yeah, you tricked me. So good job. Drake Day. Osiris, you're a big fan of the piracy. Used to, but I think you've changed a bit given time.
Yeah,
so
I've reformed in my old age.
yeah. You've now got family. You've got things to think about.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't end up going in prison at this part of my life.
Yeah. So Drake Day, I think they're a staple now of the what do you call it? The lineup of manufacturers. No taxes on Drake either. So I don't know. Love them or hate them, I think they're here to stay for sure.
Well,
Right.
IAE, they always get mentioned. It's only in Invictus they kind of get shoved to the side.
I think
and that's a lot of reason.
I think we'll go straight into the CCU because there is only one, and it's not really a bit of a surprise there. But the Caterpillar did jump in price, but you can get it at its old price still this one last time. So $295.
Highly predatory.
Yeah. So yeah, $295 for that, and you're basically $35. It didn't go where any of us thought it was going to jump to. By the way, it's a really weird place because there's no other ship at that price point that I'm aware of. I'm sure someone in the comments below will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of any ship at the 300. Oh wait, you got 325 for the Redeemer now. So looks like maybe they're trying to space things out a little more. They're not trying to clump them up like they used to. So
yeah, you're sandwiched right between the Redeemer and the Genesis. It's not the Genesis, the Gemini.
It's almost like they're trying to make more upgrade options so we spend more cash. So like for future sales, they're going to have more Warp 1. No, you reckon? Well, I reckon
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? I reckon that's exactly what it is. They're trying to get us to spend more cash on CCUs.
I think if people have got that option to, a $5 upgrade to this next ship, people will say, I'll pay that rather than paying $100 here. Yeah.
So I don't know who at CIG's done that, but yeah, good job because it's a clever move, and we've been saying it for years. But
those small micro jumps can be really good.
Yeah, need to get back to that time period where you and me were at Algared, where we just chuck in $20 here and $20 there, and that I want that back. And we haven't been able to do that for a while. So, yeah,
because when we buy gift cards, they're just undervalued because war bonds, they don't count. So, yeah.
All right. Osiris Z Buccaneer. What would you like to tell me about the Buccaneer, sir?
I don't really like this ship that much. It's just, there's a lot better options for a light fighter.
Agreed. It is very fun to fly, and it does feel like a really good fighter. But like when you consider the Cutlass is $10 less, that's a really hard pill to swallow when you've got like arguably one of the best all-rounder ships in the entire game behind you. That's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. Algared, your take.
In Arena Commander, it's a lovely ship to fly. It felt to me, I was doing Arena Commander recently. I flew Swagger fighters. They all felt sluggish. Gladius, Gladiator, all of the bigger fighters, and I got into this one, and I was surprised at how agile and swift it felt. Yes, you felt the damage when you took it, but it was dishing out damage. It just felt really nice to fly. I've always seen this as that ship that was developed back in the day when the Caterpillar, when the Cutlass was the wallowing whale, and they said, we've changed the focus of the Cutlass. Here's that fighter version, and they kind of split it into two. And at that time they offered everyone who had a Cutlass a $0 upgrade to it, just to pacify, I suppose, the masses who had wanted the Cutlass to be that agile, nifty fighter.
I still find it weird that it's more expensive though. I would have increased the price of the Cutlass before I increased the price of this, which is just a bit weird. I think
many ideas.
There's almost a running thing, and it's not all Drake ships, but I can think of at least two off the top of my head where the the concept was cooler than the final outcome, and this is one of them. So for me, if you've ever played StarCraft, it had the gun was actually underslung and actually under the ship, and then they moved it and put it on top because for whatever reason, obviously people can argue the landing gear's in the way and stuff like that, but it's just nowhere near as cool as it looked before. I think they were kind of looked like a Stinger, where it could like strike you with it with the gun from underneath. So yeah. The Caterpillar, I think this is arguably one of the best daily drivers in the game. Definitely the most versatile, and I think we've got a lot to see that's coming from this ship, but is very much unknown, and that's the biggest problem with it. How you are taking a gamble by purchasing this ship, but at the moment it is still one of the better cargo haulers. Algared, your thoughts on the Caterpillar?
I tend to agree. I think that versatility in terms of being able to swap out those compartments does put it in some way, in a weird sense, in kind of Endeavour territory of that. So many options.
Yep.
But we don't know what options they're going to give us. I do tend to think it is probably one of the better, or if not the best, Drake ship. You've got the offside asymmetrical look. You've got masses of the other side is heed to the teeth with tractor beams. It's got the doors. It's just a great ship in so many ways.
The one of the things I always forget to mention about it, and Algared's just reminded me while I'm sitting here thinking, is it's actually got double the complement of people for the constellation as in living quarters. This can actually support 8 people, which is kind of crazy.
Yep.
For that command module has 4 in it, and like 4 beds and living quarters and showers and guns and all that in a tiny little module, and then again inside the ship. It's just
in the back module. It's got that, and one of the things they talked about with modularity was living quarters, that you could add additional living quarters, and they said each of those modules they used to say each of those modules had its own life support and power system. So
they did. Sorry, can I? I'm gonna have to cut you off. Algared, it was gonna be too long. So, Osiris, your thoughts on the Caterpillar? It is a great ship, though. I agree, Algared. Osiris, your thoughts on the Caterpillar, please.
Well, in the before times, before modularity passed to myth and legend, I was telling you guys before how the Caterpillar concept image, where it's being escorted by the two cutlasses, the old school cutlasses, with a stainless steel paint job, was really the image that sold me on Star Citizen. It's of a vintage with like the Kickstarter probably shortly thereafter, and I really I love this ship. I love the potential that the modularity has for it, and I really hope that this could be like the first ship that you work your way up from a starter from, that you could customize to do anything in the game. And it's got that one right there.
Yeah, they can't
my
see
favorite,
it.
My favorite piece of Star Citizen concept art right there.
Yeah, I'll open it and let people see. So it's this one here. I was opening another browser so people could see, but that's his favorite piece of concept.
Hazard paint jobs on the side, and
very retro-stic, like 1930s. Well, no, not 1930s, 1970s. Yeah, sci-fi.
Yeah, very very Star Warsy.
And we were actually looking at it earlier and going, it really fundamentally. Other than command module, there's not a lot of changes there. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you compare that to the Cutlass that's escorting it, and you go, yeah, that's not a Cutlass.
Yeah, a little thin in the neck. Little thin in the neck.
That looks like a turtle,
Once upon a time.
Okay.
Once upon a time, that was your Cutlass.
All right. The Corsair. For me, I kind of love it because, as I was kind of alluding to, I really love asymmetry in a lot of the Drake ships, but I'm sure you two are going to relate to this as well. The turrets just kill it for me in this ship, and that wing with so much firepower that if it's lost, you lose 66% of your armament. But the layout is amazing. It does have some massive positives. It's got a much better layout than any Constellation. So yeah, Osiris, your thoughts on the Corsair, please, mate.
I really like the ship. I love the asymmetry of it, and I don't remember where I first heard this idea. It might have been on the Minion Soldiers show, but I think he had the idea to take those 2 stupid side turrets combine them into a single top turret, and then this thing would be a dramatic improvement in this ship.
Yep.
Yep.
I've heard that for sure too. Algared, your thoughts on the Corsair?
I actually want to turn it 90 degrees so those bottom fins are down the bottom like Star Wars.
Yeah, like a B wing. Yeah, actually, it is like a B wing. Oh wow, I never even thought of that. Yeah,
You know, it to me it just screams Star Wars, a Star Wars ship, chucked on the side, and yeah,
I never
Or the
even.
Lambda shuttle or whatever it is.
the
Yeah,
Lambda
it's like-
shuttle or even the B wing.
Yeah, it's
Either
half.
of those.
One wing is the Lambda, and the other's
some
the
real
B
attitude,
wing.
and I like that about
Yeah,
Drake
so you
ships in
flip
general.
it, you
Dude,
flip
but this
it
thing
this
looks
way,
awesome.
you flip it down so the one wing's down the bottom, it's a B wing. You flip the other way, it's a Lambda.
I never saw that before. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to see that.
Drake have taken Xeon technology, the upright ship, and flipped it on its side. That's why, of course, it's so different. It really is a Xeon ship, but Drake have stolen.
All right then. The Cutlass Black. Yeah, cannot recommend this enough. If you are someone that is new to the game, it is a good ship. But as always, you only really need a starter package. And I think for me, the natural upgrade chain pretty much goes like your Aurora Mustang, then an Avenger Titan, and then this, and you probably you can stop here if you want. But yeah, for me, it's right now it's one of the most versatile ships in the game. It does a little bit of everything. I even think it'll be a flexible drop ship with those side turrets, not side turrets, side doors in the future.
Yeah.
Average, your thoughts on the colours, please.
Same thing. I'd normally go, I'd normally suggest people just get a Titan, but if you're going, unless if they can't afford it, but if you picked up the Nomad pack last year with the, but when it was first released, and I was suggesting to people just upgrade for $20 more and get a Cutlass Black. In fact, that's what I told my nephews to do when I gave them the Nomad pack. I said, upgrade. This ship is rubbish in my opinion. This one is awesome. It does everything that Nomad can do and more.
Here's your gift. It's rubbish. Turn it into something great. That's what I heard. All right, Osiris.
Yep.
Oh boy, yeah. It's if you remember that Caterpillar concept image we were just looking at before, some newer backers may not realize that those two Cutlass-looking things actually were the Cutlass when this game launched. Yeah, and you can see how much the ship has changed. CIG really outdid themselves with the rework on this one, and it improved in so many ways other than just graphically. It's those two side doors that Execute just mentioned give it huge functionality. This is going to be able to be like a lightly modular ship, if you will. Like you could have containers of whatever, and you could have some handheld salvage tools. You could fly right up alongside a derelict, EVA out the side door, and cut up the you could this could be whatever your imagination could make it. This is a great ship. It's probably one of the best value ships in Star Citizen.
Should quickly add the ability to take some rocks as well, so for mining even. Yes. Yeah, right now it's got a lot going for it.
And for me, like the Cutlass, the way it is now, really does capture everything they originally sold in terms of being the fighter, kind of able to take cargo and do both things. So it really does capture, I think, the original concept.
It's actually, I'm just going to all I'm going to say about the Cutlass Blue here is it's actually scary that it's $75. Like I'd rather pay $25 and get a second Cutlass. Like that's crazy. You'd have to really be into bounty hunting, and I'd have to say this is probably for its price. I reckon, like again, you can get almost not quite 3 Avenger Titans, not quite. But Algared, your thoughts on the Cutlass Blue?
It has pretty lights.
Right, yeah, and we're done. That's Algared's hot take for 2021. The Cutlass Blue.
Hard-hitting analysis you come here for, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the stats, I think the Cutlass Blue still has the best damage reduction, at least according to Urkel, than any of the other Cutlasses. So it puts it up there with the top best ships in terms of damage reduction from both ballistic and energy. So, but how much that's going to tie into actual gameplay down the track, who knows?
Now, Osiris, I think the reason this is at the price it is because of the Mantis. and that QED technology. What's your
Hmm.
point on that, and your thoughts on the Cutlass Blue?
I'd agree with that. It's kind of it represents a shift in CIG's pricing strategy, I think, which has become more prevalent recently. And we saw that with the Caterpillar, and we were kind of talking about it before the episode began with some of our supporters. But CIG is now almost pricing things not in terms of what they're worth in relative terms, but they're trying to space things out to incentivize you to incrementally increase your purchase by small, affordable amounts. And they want there to be a CCU option probably every $10, $25, whatever it is, all the way from the Avenger up to a Polaris or something like that. So that if you're involved in this project long enough, you're going to get sucked in.
Mm.
I think that $175 that puts this ship out of the. I wouldn't recommend pledging for it. I think it's good at what it does. It's a good ship. This is an earning game for me.
Yeah, 100% agree with that statement. All right, Algared, I'll let you kick it straight off on the Cutty Red, and I'm expecting
Cutty
you to
Red,
say. I'm expecting you to say what I'm going to say. So go for it.
It's an ambulance. That loses a turret for 2 beds at first aid kits. Its role is really to get patients to a proper hospital and get them there quick. But that's about it. To me, it's a nice ship. It's versatile. It has it used to have a real good purpose, but now.
Yes, that's the part I was looking at. It used to be freaking awesome, and then now it's kind of dun dun dun. It died. The heart monitor. Dee, 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 dee. Yeah, it did
Flatlined.
that. It flatlined. As Algared said, it's just a med kit now. For $35, can you recommend that over the Cutlass Black, Osiris?
No, that's also an earning game.
Yeah, no, I have to agree on that. Sorry, I was just looking at your eyes. Looks like you got like black raccoon eyes all of a sudden.
But
I'll tell
you this often overlooked facet of the Cutlass Red. It has pretty lights.
Oh yeah. Hot take. Dragonfly.
We heard it here first.
Yeah, I think I don't usually say much positive about vehicles in the game, but I will say this is probably one of the best vehicles that we currently have in game. The versatility of being able to have cargo or a person, and it's more rugged 4x4 than the others. And you got to honestly think about it. Most of this game is going to be planetary surface, not slick city streets or roads. So this thing has more space to play than some of the other bikes. Algared, your take on the Dragonfly Black?
It's even better than the vehicles because it's actually rated for being able to fly in space as well.
There you go. Osiris, anything for you to add on the Cutlass Black?
No, I just agree with everything you guys have said.
Cool. He's a yes man today. All right, the Herald. I'll let you go. Algared, have at it.
I think there are better Inforunners out there. I know where you always used to use the
there's 3 of them right here.
Yeah. But I think if you've got this and you compare it to MSR any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Even though
I'd have to agree with that.
Expensive and stuff. It's just so much more gameplay.
Osiris, your thoughts on the Herald, please.
I think that, broadly speaking, the MSR probably represents better opportunity for most players. But the one thing that I think differentiates this in terms of its gameplay loop versus other ships that I can't think of an example where for example, like the Prospector compared to an Orion, it doesn't necessarily retain a unique function. This thing has those drop boxes, whatever they are, the data cache things that can detach that the MSR doesn't have, as far as we know. Maybe it will be able to get them somehow, some way, but that enshrines a specific discrete purpose for the ship. And we obviously have a long way to go until we see what they do with data running, but I wouldn't pledge for this ship, but I can see it having a role deep into the game.
And I think what you're describing there is almost any ship. I'm now clearly seeing that with mining, having spent time with the geologist, and Tecton is the geologist, and other people like that. I'm starting to realize now that every ship will still have a unique thing just to it. And yeah, this will as well. But where I struggle, and Algared, you correct me if you're wrong, again, $10 and you're at a Cutlass. So Algared, your thoughts on the Herald?
Look, I look at the Herald and to be honest, I think Cutlass command cab. And
It
so I
is a bit
find it
like that.
hard to unsee that. It really does look like the Cutlass command cab that's been had the living areas more or less stripped out and had the service put in. That's what it feels like. So
This was actually a ship that I purchased, but much like the what I was saying with the Buccaneer, I got rid of it because they removed the asymmetry. So yeah, I wanted the
original
asymmetry.
It was
asymmetry
disappointing when that happened.
Yep.
I think I'll just let you kick this one off, Cyrus, because you brought this one. This was your big baby at one point. So yeah, tell us about the Kraken.
It still is my big baby. I own this ship. I think that it's going to represent a lot of overlap in different gameplay. It's going to be a focal point for many organizations, and there's going to be basically no type of gameplay operation, whether you're talking about combat or mining in deep space, whatever, that isn't going to be improved by bringing one of these to support your operation.
Yeah. Algared, your thoughts on the Kraken?
Look, the fact that you can land, your mates can land on the ship and resupply, or even log off because it's got perhaps. As I said, it's an orc ship every day. But yeah,
For me,
I think the only ship to compete with it would be an Endeavour with its hangar, because the Endeavour can take more, bigger ships than others. But yeah,
I'll just say this: it's probably the last ship I'm wanting to own, and hopefully one day I can afford it. It's just out of that amount of money in one hit is just out of my realm of possibility at the moment. But I really do love this ship. Yeah, Privateer. I think we can kind of agree that this is the shopping mall to the Ben and Mitchman's traveling salesman. Just a quick update over the Kraken of the Privateer there. Algared, your thoughts?
I'd forgotten how expensive a Privateer was about in terms of that standard price. And when you now look at the BMM having 8 stalls to this one's 10, I'm starting to go, ooh, man.
Well, at one point the Banner Merchantman was $350. It cost you $350 just to get the upgrade. It's kind of scary. Yeah. So, Osiris, your thoughts on the Privateer?
I've said a lot in our Discord as well as my own YouTube channel about how I'm not sold on the traveling bazaar gameplay, and that applies as much to the Banner Merchantman as it does to this ship. I don't necessarily think it's going to be the big money maker that everybody seems to think it is, and if I were looking at getting a Kraken, I would recommend getting the base Kraken. We know you'll be able to fly it to Cousin Crows and upgrade it in game, and that's probably a safe strategy.
Maybe not Cousin Crows, or maybe you can, but yeah, shipyards. You can get them converted at shipyards, and there'll probably be some kind of rep you've got to grind to get them. But again, at $350, I'd get in game.
Cousin Crows are the people who did redesign the Privateer 4.
Okay, fair enough. You're the lawman. I'm not the lawman.
Right.
Yeah, he's probably totally right, but I just want to clarify that it's shipyards in general. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Vulture next year with salvage coming online. I'm looking quite forward to this. About time we got some more actual gameplay. So, Osiris, your thoughts on the Vulture?
Yeah, this one I'm looking forward to, and I would say at this point, because unless salvage gets pushed again, this might be a good time to pick up a CCU from whatever to this. Just kind of keep it in your back pocket and wait and see how salvage shakes out. My feeling is going to be they may or may not make salvage essentially a reskin of mining on their initial implementation, but my hope is that it develops into something that is substantively and experientially different than that.
I'm going to disagree with you there, because I think it's more akin to repair. Where
I hope so. I hope
salvage
it's
is
totally
kind
different experience.
Yeah, so salvage is kind of the stripping down and repair is kind of the rebuilding. So I actually think after we see salvage, we'll probably see repair. But this is the other thing I'm going to bring up too. Remember what they did with the rock? How they kind of really wanted people to look at the mining and they made it really kind of cheap. If we don't end up getting a vehicle, I actually think this will be very like 3 months down the track after it's released. I think you'll be able to get it in game quite cheap. So that's the other thing I'll put out there.
I reckon they'll probably sell the cutter as a standalone ship at some point if that's
potentially
the route they want to go.
Potentially, but Algared, I think you'd agree at its price point, probably better not to purchase, as in just get it in game. That's my thought. But Algared, you're
Yeah, look, generally, when you look at the price points of ships and you look at the value in game, they usually are significantly cheaper to earn in game than it is to have the cash. But if someone's jam is this, or they really love a ship and they've got the money and they want to spend it, then hey, go for it. But at 140, it does for me fall into that usual. If you're trying to save money and get what and go to the bigger ships, then sell your small ships and get the big things and then earn them in game.
So the other disappointment today was there were no new skins at all for the Drake. So yeah. Anything you guys? I would have liked to see some skins, but we didn't get any.
As far as existing skins go, it's worth pointing out. I know that we've dogged on the polar skins pretty much this whole week, rightfully so, in my opinion. But if you look at the Caterpillar polar skin, at least, it's not that. It doesn't appear to be that camouflage pattern. It just appears to be a two-tone paint job, which isn't bad. But again, I don't think it's. I don't recommend pledging for paint.
Yeah, it's believe it or not, it's actually the same with the other Drake skins. Their polar is different. It's kind of this two-tone, same colors as the polar skin, but it was before they had camo in. So that it would have been nice at the very least to see them say, hey, we've updated the polar skin. It's camo like everyone else, and it costs the same amount of money as it used to. But they didn't do that because they charged more for the polar skin for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why they do.
All right, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it's different. I'll give it that. It's not my favorite skin for my Caterpillar. Put it that way. I prefer my pirate any day of the week. So yeah. All right. So that's Drake Day. We've got the big day tomorrow with the Odyssey. So we're looking forward to that. Algared, I know you'll be back tomorrow, and I believe Badges might be with you tomorrow, so don't quote me on that one. But let us know your thoughts below. Did you pick anything up from the Drake sale? And have you sold off ships like I have for the asymmetry? And I know some of these guys have got rid of ships because Drake's one of those manufacturers that's been around since the beginning, and they've changed quite a bit. They're not. They're more filled out, I think. Like Aegis to me still feels more like it was back in the day, where I think Drake's had a more fundamental shift, especially when you look at that 1970s retro look. Anything you'd like to say, Osiris or Algared, before we log off?
Yeah, I do want to just add one thing. I don't remember us talking about it during the episode, but right before the episode, one of our supporters pointed out that the price increase on the Caterpillar does not yet appear to have affected the price of the Pirate Caterpillar. The Pirate Caterpillar skin. However, if you upgrade to the Pirate Caterpillar, it still seems to have the new $330 value. So if you don't want to end game get a Pirate Caterpillar, you can use that as a super duper CCU jump until they fix it, which they probably will.
Which will be pretty damn quick, I imagine, when they're losing money like that. Yeah.
Now that I spoiled the secret.
Yeah, quick before it goes. All right, Algared, anything you'd like to say before we log off?
Like, subscribe, be respectful. We do read every comment, etc., etc. Join us on Discord, and if you really want to go the extra yard, we'd love to see you on Patreon as well.
Yep. And there's a whole bunch of people in that are from Patreon right now with us as we record this. So yeah. All right. He's been Algared, the farmer, Osiris, the I don't know, what do you call that? I don't know, purple man. And I've been Execute, the black man. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm black, but I'm in black, if you know what I mean. And we'll catch you in the next one. That was so bad. I'm going to get roasted for that comment. I did not think of that before I said that. Apologies.
It's okay. Some of the best Inforunners are black.
That is true. That is true.